Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Ferris, and how are y'all doing this fine Sunday afternoon? We're back out here on the channel, and I'm debuting the 83 F-150 again. Last time you probably saw it on the last video, I was out working on it, getting her back together, getting her to run and everything. It had the old grill guard that was on the front end of it, as well as some other things. Well, I took off the old grill guard, it's laying right there, and put on the original bumper that came with it. Now if you look at the bumper, you might think, well, one side is a little shiny, one side's a little dull. I've been working on getting it all shined back up, you know, with some different things and seeing how it would come back together and everything, and getting her all cleaned up and seeing what all we can do with it. Now if you remember on the last episode or the previous video, there were some all-terrain tires that were on the rear. I took those all-terrain tires off and got some new tires. I got some Yokohama Highways and put on the back of the truck. And also, what I'm up to as well, you can probably see it a lot better, I put the new chrome bumper on the rear. So we got all that cleaned up, as well as the former toolboxes that I used to have. I took those out and I cleaned up the bed and got rid of all the junk that was in the bed and all the oil and everything. I cleaned it out, took it to the car wash, hosed it down with soap and water, and cleaned it out really good. That way I can have all my tools and equipment and everything for whenever I do service calls and things of that nature, you know, fixing, repairing, whatever needs to be fixed. Now, one thing, I know some of y'all may have already seen this on Instagram and posted it on the truck page and Facebook. We had a little bit of an accident yesterday. Now, it got mangled up pretty good, as you can tell. It wrinkled up that quarter panel quite well on this truck. Now, it is salvageable. It can be repaired. It's just going to take a little time because it got twisted up pretty bad. Now, you may be wondering what the hell happened to get it all mangled up like that. Well, if you notice, the center cap is missing off of this wheel. What had apparently happened, even though I did torque the lug nuts to 100 foot-pounds on this wheel, the lug nuts did come off for some odd reason, and just decided to take that wheel. No, I'm just kidding. The wheel just, I went around the corner and the wheel came off, and everything landed on the ground. So the wheel came off, the drum came off, and it messed up the brake shoes underneath and everything, and bent up the backing plate. But luckily I was able to find enough parts and fix it to where I could put it back together where I was yesterday. Jacked her back up and cleaned up the threads and put her all back together. I actually drove it home yesterday about 20 miles after the incident happened, out and about when I was working. But I plan to keep on rolling. I plan to keep on driving it. It's a really good truck. Like I said in my previous video, it's the 83 F-150 with the inline 6 in it. Now, I don't know if this was related to it yesterday. I think it happened way before, because I had some symptoms. The alternator is not working on this truck. The alternator is located down here, right below the air pump. That's the air pump with those hoses going over top of it. The alternator is down at the bottom. Some clues that I had about the alternator not working: turn signals weren't flashing fast like they should be, like a normal rate, and also the windshield wipers were going really slow across the windshield, even though I put new windshield wipers on it and got the washer fluid working on this truck as well. But yesterday I checked it out because I had to boost it because I stopped somewhere and it wouldn't start back up. So I had to boost it to get it to run again. And I checked the alternator on this thing, and the alternator was not charging. Now, how I checked the alternator was I took my voltmeter and set it to DC amp or DC voltage on it, and hooked up the ground lead to the ground connection here on the battery, and I went to the positive side of the alternator down there. I don't know if you can see it, it's behind the bracket right there on that stud, and there was only like 11 and a half volts coming off the back of the alternator when it should be about 13 and a half, almost to 14 for a normal charging alternator. So I got to get another alternator for it. I'm going to replace the other parts in the back that got damaged, like the brakes and the drums in the back. The drum got some divots knocked in it because of coming off and hitting the studs. Studs are okay. I was able to bend them back and put the lug nuts back on it and get everything back together like was mentioned before. I'm also going to put a headlight switch in this truck because only the headlights will come on the headlight position. And then the tail lights will come on the tail light position. So there's a little issue there with the electrical with the headlight switch on this truck. So I just thought I'd show y'all what's been going on. Got it all cleaned up, and I'm gonna still do a lot more work to the truck and fix her up as well and keep on driving. You'll probably see more pictures, a lot more pictures of this one. Like I said, we're not gonna stop just because of one little incident. We're gonna repair it and put her all back together. I am gonna also fix the exhaust on this truck as well. It's got the inline 6 on it. I've only got one little straight pipe coming out underneath of it right now that's hooked up to a flex pipe coming down underneath right there. So this truck is pretty noisy when it's running. Right now I don't think it'll start because of the battery being low in voltage. It needs to be charged up because the alternator has not been charging it up. But when I get everything all fixed up and working for this truck, I will do a video with a cold start on this thing to let y'all hear it with that inline 6 cylinder with no muffler on it, with the straight pipe coming out of it. Hope everybody is well and hope everybody is doing great today. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this 83 F-150 that I've had since 97, which is 23 years. Even though this truck is 37 years old, it's still a good looking truck. It still runs and drives, and it does what I need it to do, and I plan to keep it for a very long time. Also check me out on Instagram at fearlessfly100, and I hope everybody is doing well as can be and enjoying the day. Sorry for the wind noise. It's a little windy out here, but it's a beautiful day. So I hope everybody takes care, and we'll catch you on the next video.